it was a big weekend for Ohio State football, and probably in the coming days it's going to continue to be big as the position camps are going on campus, where they have a lot of top prospects and getting a close look-see from the coaching staff. And we're now joined by Ryan McGlade, Buckeye Sports Bulletin. I know, Ryan, you were out there on Friday. Give us an idea, like how many campers are there, and that Ohio State football assistant coaches are watching, and this is more or less turned into these football camps, quote unquote, almost like a combine for really good high school players, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much, Matt. Basically, I read maybe close to 700 kids were at that camp on Friday. And basically, like you said, it's like a combine where they do individual workouts, position drills where they run through bags or dummies and stuff, or quarterbacks will throw to receivers, and receivers will go one-on-one with defensive backs and things like that. But, yeah, pretty much just like what you would see at the NFL Combine.
And there's a full gamut of people. There's some kids that are just, football campers trying to improve their skills, but there are a lot of players that have already been committed to Ohio State or trying to earn scholarship offers. Is it a mixture like that, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. I know on Friday, Samson James, he's that four-star running back out of Indiana, and he's been committed to Ohio State for a few months now. He was at the camp. He worked out. I don't think he did all of the workouts, but he definitely did do some of like the agility drills and looked pretty good in that. But then there's other kids who go there and they leave there with an offer. Even for example, there was it's crazy to believe it, but there was a kid who was in 8th grade last year. And so he's going to be a freshman this coming year, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
wow.
he left with an offer. He's a quarterback from Texas. And then there was another kid who, Jaden Ballard. He's from Massillon, Washington. He'll be a sophomore. He won't be, so it's not like he was just in 8th grade, but he'll be a sophomore. He's a receiver. He also received an offer at that camp.
Coach Meyer has mentioned, Ryan, that how much recruiting has changed over the last 15 years or whatever, and he always likes to see guys before actually making an offer. But part of the game today is offering first, so to speak. A lot of times, if you wait on kids, and I need to see this kid in person, and 6 other schools have offered him, that kid can feel, I don't know, like disrespected that it took you that long. So there's a fine line, isn't there, with Ohio State and how they distribute scholarship offers, especially with these younger kids, because you don't want to feel like you're leaving a kid at the altar or waiting too long to offer a kid, but also you don't want to jump on it too soon.
Yeah, definitely. Urban's talked about it before, where he would like to wait until later in the process to offer kids, because maybe they don't hit their stride until their senior year or late in their junior year, things like that. And Urban, he said before, he hates having to offer kids, going into their freshman year or going into their sophomore year. But that's, like you said, that's just the nature of the beast anymore. And especially with out-of-state kids, I think Ohio State has to offer them early to show that they're interested in them. If they wait until late in the game, it's Ohio State, so they can get almost anyone they want. But on the other hand, if they wait too late and maybe they're, they got to play catch up for too long against like an Alabama or a Clemson or Georgia or, whoever else.
Visiting with Ryan McGlade of Buckeye Sports Bulletin, talking about Ohio State's position camps and also the commitment that they got over the weekend from Harry Miller. Now, this kid, Ryan, looks like the real deal. 6'4", 310 pounds at the position of center, a top 50 prospect at all positions, one of the best centers in the country. Tell us a little bit about what you know of him. And this commitment, was it unexpected, or did Ohio State kind of feel like this was coming?
I guess publicly it was unexpected. I guess when he took his official visit to Ohio State for the spring game back in April, I guess he told the coaches then and there that he was going to commit to Ohio State. He never made that public until yesterday. But he was actually planning to announce his decision like the first week of July, because that's when he was going to go on a mission trip down to Nicaragua. But I think there are like protests or something going on down there right now, and it's not too safe to be in the country, especially, for visitors, international visitors. So they decided not to go on this mission trip, and because of that, he went ahead and pulled the trigger yesterday. But, like you said, he's one of the top kids in the country. Obviously, the top center Ohio State was going after. And he's played like almost every position on the offensive line for his high school team. I mean, left guard, left tackle, right guard, center, you name it, he's probably played it. And, you just watch his highlight videos, and 9 times out of 10, he's just bulldozing guys he's blocking, or, you know what I mean? Or
yep.
Even in pass protection, he stays in front of them and things like that. And,
yep.
Again, more often than not, they're running behind him because why wouldn't you? He's he's one of the best kids in the class. So
yep.
Yeah.
And this is a second kid from the state of Georgia in this class, and also how is the offensive line in the 2019 class developing? Because he's obviously highly ranked, but they've got a few others, don't they?
Sure. Yeah, they have. So he's the third one who's committed to Ohio State. They have Ryan Jacoby out of Menor. That's also where Noah Potter goes and where Micah Potter is from. And they also have Doug Nestor from West Virginia. So there's 3. They could probably take as many as 2 or 3 more, so a total of 5 or 6 in the class. I know one option might be Jonathan Allen from Dayton Dunbar. He was at Ohio State's camp on Friday. And he's only played 1 year of football. His junior season, which was last season, that was his first year of football. He's played basketball, I think, for most of his life. So he's pretty athletic, but he's still pretty raw in terms of football skills. But so he's an option. That could be a 4th one. Some other guys they're looking at. There's a kid from Michigan, Devontae Dobbs. He's their highly rated kid. Darnell Wright, he's another kid from West Virginia. I already mentioned Jonathan Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Truss, he's from Rhode Island. Like I said, there's 5 or 6 guys they could probably take. Because if you think about it, they're going to lose after this 2018 season. They're going to lose Isaiah Prince, Malcolm Pridgeon, Demetrius Knox, Brady Taylor, because they'll all be graduating. So
right,
they really need to, stockpile the offensive line in these recruiting classes.
I'm sure that obviously has to be a priority. One last thing, Ryan, and you mentioned Harry Miller, the kid that committed, was originally going to make his announcement and during his mission trip to Nicaragua. Obviously, a character guy. How important are those character guys to Urban Meyer? We hear him talk about Real Life Wednesday and finding the well-rounded athlete and how much he enjoys them. How much does he look for that, and the staff look for that on the recruiting trail?
It's funny you brought that up because at the end of that camp on Friday, he talked to all the campers there maybe for like 10 minutes or so, and 2 of the things he mentions is that when he goes to talk to high school coaches, he says there's the first 2 questions he'll ask them is so-and-so, are they a good teammate? And how do they perform in the big moments? So basically he said, with the good teammate part, he said, do they show up on time? Are they always working hard, studying film, doing all these things, not making excuses, stuff like that. And then how do they perform in the big moments? And of course he mentioned JT Barrett as an example of that, 3-time captain. Urban absolutely loved JT. And he mentioned that Penn State game JT had where he was 14 of 14 or something in the fourth quarter, something like that. So,
right.
Character is huge for Urban. He said, if he asked the coach if, how are they as a teammate? And the coach says, they make excuses or they don't show up to practice all the time or on time. And Urban's like, okay, we're done. Moving on to the next kid. So
right.
Character is very, very important for Urban. And you have to have that for the type of program they run, you have to have that.
Yeah. And Harry Miller seems to have that. Ryan, thanks so much.
Yep.
We appreciate the time, and Enjoy your work over at BSB.
All right. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it.